Yo, welcome back. Welcome back. What up, HHN Nation? We are back for what we're going to call season two of Dead Man's Mic podcast. It's me and Craig. You know how we do it, but it's a little different. We're heading into HHN35. We
Yes,
know that the
indeed.
fog is over, it's done. The neon green truss is not on anymore.
Oh man,
But, Craig, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
listen, the season is officially come to an end. Sadly, all good things must come to an end. But what a season that we've had! Honestly, one of the best years of HHN we've had on paper, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like Nick has just mentioned, the neon sign is down, the medallions is down, the The
Yeah.
origins of horror icon statues are gone.
The
It's
YS6 are gone.
listen, like the HHN is getting deconstructed.
Yeah,
Merch is
yeah.
50 to 70% off. So if you're out in the area, go ahead and get that. Um, I don't think I think the website is down, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna be selling everywhere else. So,
Yeah.
but hey, another season of HHN is come and gone, and it's time to get speculations for the anniversary year, HHN
Big
35.
anniversary year.
Big year. It's time to get it going.
Before we go into 35, I definitely want to properly send 34 off in the right way. And I would like to say that my final thoughts and memories are this year was executed so well. Like, I don't think that anybody left disappointed with what the Universal Creative Team really gave us. Like, they gave us something to talk about and something to remember for a long time. And I had a blast every time we were in the fog. We were lucky enough to go more than once this year and be in the fog.
Mm-hmm.
And the memories that we made just hanging out with different people, meeting people that recognize us from Dead Man's Mic, meeting other content creators while we were down there, man. You really can't beat that. Being able to get to know some of the cast members down there and
Yeah.
just really building a friendship with them, man. It was really nice. And 34 will forever live on as one of the best years. The lineup was crazy. We all knew it. We were saying in what, July? Like, they haven't released nothing that's pissed us off yet. Like, nothing.
Nothing at all.
Terrifier by a unanimous vote won House of the Year. Um, it was incredible to see just how well they incorporated Art the Clown within
Yeah.
both events, whether it was Hollywood or Orlando. It was very nice, man. So, all that being said, bravo. Amazing job on HHN 34. And I can't wait to see what we get going for 35.
Um, in terms of like my final thoughts and memories from this year, again, one of the most complete years on paper in a long time. It's almost like a formula that HHN has. It's almost like every 5 or so years, there comes along a year where it has stacked top to bottom, and like every single house is solid. Like there's not one bad house,
Yeah.
even though like they'll like a house. Even though a house has to be first and the house has to be last, and everybody's ranking, there literally wasn't a bad house this year. Like I mean, I can't say the same for last. I can't say the same for last year, Goblin's Feast. But you know,
Oh, man. You didn't hear about that one.
it's just like this year has just been fun. Like it's like I don't think that there has been like a house that has had like at least under like a 30-minute wait.
Yeah,
Um,
dude. Every house pulled the numbers
every
this year.
every house, even the
Every
house,
house.
even the least favorite house pulled in numbers because
Yeah.
because like I said, every single house has its fans. And there's, like I said before, there was a house for everybody. And so that that overall balance that came along with that played a factor. This was the best Nightmare Fuel show that they have ever done. um
Circus of Decay,
yeah, the
bro.
the scare zones were elite, every
Yeah,
single one. um
yeah.
and the
Club
amount
Horror was,
yeah, the amount of like tickets, and then like the amount of ticket sales, and the numbers that HHN were pulling in this year, insane levels. Like I've
yeah,
never seen it like this before.
yeah,
And going into next year, who knows what what the numbers are gonna look like next year? Because now you got people in demand about next year and stuff, and now this is really gonna push Universal Creative into making next year, which is an anniversary year, the best. I think what very well might be the best year of all time. I know I said this about this year, but I think next year they're gonna really blow our minds. We just gonna have to see about this, man.
yeah. I completely agree with everything that you just said, and I feel like the expectations are obviously going to be extremely high after they were able to produce such a lineup like what they had this year. But
Yeah,
I'm not worried. I trust Michael in Orlando, and I trust John Murdy out in Hollywood.
the trust
I'm not
levels are
worried
there.
at all. It's right. I trust you. Now, the real question is, before we can really move on to 35, you get one house. Our rankings changed all over HHN 34 season this year.
They did.
What is that one house for you that if you had to bring it back, it would be that specific house from 34?
Wyatt six, definitely. I
Yeah.
would definitely say Wyatt six. I was gonna say El Artista, but I just know
Hmm.
that I just know that they're gonna this is gonna come into what we're gonna talk about for 35. They're gonna bring something similar. I think they're gonna bring similar to that back, but I don't think they're gonna go. I don't think they're gonna do like a WWE type house for like a long while.
Yeah.
If that, because of what the anniversary year is going to bring and so on and so forth. But I would bring Horrors of the Y6 back because the Orlando version in particular, not to take anything away from Hollywood's version, but the Orlando version in particular, that version was more so like the love letter to wrestling and Bray Wyatt
Dude, I
and
was so happy for the wrestling fans.
man
Like,
and
after going through it, I was like, oh, y'all deserve this shit. Like, y'all, this
for
is great.
real, and how most of the team, this was their passion project. And
Yeah.
so you know and to see the different wrestlers, and Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy himself, come out to the house and see the house, and even some of the Wyatt Six members come out to see the house on the very last day of HHN. you
Yeah,
know
man.
like just to see, like just to see everything just come together like that, and everybody showing a universal love for a person, and um just a overall love letter to wrestling. It was a sight to behold, and the way that they and the storytelling aspects of the house was just unbelievable,
Yeah.
and the house just completely blew me away. I had very great expectations for this house leading into this year, but they more than exceeded my expectations and then
Yeah.
some. Overall, 10 out of 10. I would
Yeah.
definitely bring that back.
Absolutely. And I know I've said this on the pod before, but for me, not being a wrestling fan and really being able to go in there and get immersed in the wrestling culture, but also to have you, Craig, with the knowledge that you have of what the lore of this whole entire property was, I was able to get with the program really quickly. And by like the third time we went through, I was like, yeah, nah, this shit
Yeah,
was either
yeah,
like
see.
Yeah, this was nice. Um, I will say for me, the one house that I would bring back, and I would not have said this at the beginning. I promise you, I wouldn't have. But Hatchet and Chains really
I
pushed this
knew it.
way.
I knew it. Yeah.
Hatchet and Chains pushed this way past all of my favorite houses. I'm talking Dolls. Y'all know I'm high about that house. El
Hmm.
Artista, that's another one. But Hatchet and Chains, and I'm gonna tell you why.
It grew on me for sure.
Yeah, and for one, it was the crew that they had in there.
Hmm.
The actors that they had in there, you could tell that was a crew of actors that they believe in what the house is, they believe in what they're doing, and they believe in giving a show because they went hard. Like I know HHN is very much so scare and reset because there's so many people coming through the hunt at one time. But they had actors out on the floor. They didn't even
Hmm.
care about the flow. So for me, man, Hatchet and Chains really worked its way up my ranking, and I would love to see it get brought back again. So hey, shout out to Hatchet and Chains. Shout out to everybody on
Shout
the list.
out to Ashen and
Hatchet and
Chain
Chains, y'all
and the
scared,
YS6. Shout out to
and the
all y'all who worked
YS6.
those houses because y'all brought it. Y'all brought it, man.
Just awesome, just awesome. So now we can finally shift. It's time to close the chapter on HHN 34. But guys, HHN 35 is coming in. It's an anniversary year, a lot to unpack, and speculation is already starting. It's never too late or too early for the conversation.
Yep.
So we're going to go right up into it. Early spec for HHN 35. First off, let's talk about it being an anniversary year. Craig, what does that mean to you with it being an anniversary year?
So what this means, what an anniversary year means to um to not only myself but to every HHN fan out there.
Mm,
This is these years they happen every 5 years, obviously. Uh, these are the years to where the creative team what can they do to ultimately push the boundary, and what can they do to ultimately stand out, like make this anniversary year stand out from the last, because the last anniversary year did stand out.
it did. That was 30, right?
Right. So so it's almost like they see what they did, they've seen what they pulled off with 30. What can they do with 35 to further establish this anniversary year as one of them ones? So, I'm pretty sure at 30 they were already talking about what things can we bring for 35? What can we do to further establish, as they do every year, what can they do to further establish themselves as the measuring stick, as the needle mover of Halloween events? Because, I'm pretty sure they looked at they in terms of this past year, HHN. I'm pretty sure they looked at this year and said, this was a really, this was I say this year was the most successful HHN ever in terms of ticket sales, in terms of social media interaction, in terms of
Yeah.
the numbers of people it was bringing in, and so on and so forth. Um, this was the year, and so I'm pretty sure they're thinking like, how can we be even better next year?
Yeah.
How can we even top this year by seeing what we're gonna bring next year? And so that's they gonna be on their A game, like I already know they will. So it's ultimately it'll be what it ultimately comes down to is what can they do to further push the envelope? What can they
Yeah.
do? And we just wait.
Yeah. I mean, one thing about it being an anniversary year, the biggest thing to me is that an anniversary year is always kind of like a college homecoming, right? Or like
Pretty much.
it's like an ode to tradition. And I feel like it's really going to be a giant thank you letter, not only to the fans, but to the creative team themselves. Like, I expect for it to be fun, but I also expect for there to be nostalgia there, but also stuff for those diehard fans that really know the history. I feel there are a lot of different ways that they could go with it. I do want to say before we really start speculating, what I would love to see for 35 is just an entire arsenal of slasher houses.
Hmm.
Now, do I see that happening? Absolutely not. But if we could get 10 slashers, this does mean 10 IPs, which is very like that's far fetched. Not that it's not
Very far
impossible,
fetched.
but it's far fetched, right? But that's
Yeah.
why I'm gonna say this now before speculation really kicks up, and then I sound insane for saying what I'm saying. It would just be cool to see all those slashers. What about those slashers that people want so badly that we haven't gotten? And the
Yeah.
main one that I'm talking about that everybody wants to see.
Yep.
Like, that would be cool. Now, why, I do not see that happening. Like I was saying, I just think that that would be so cool. Just on an early wish list kind of standpoint, that would be cool. Now, what I do,
I could see like at least 5 or 6 IPs at
I
the
could,
least,
yeah,
at the
you
most.
know, what I'm
Just a
thinking is
just
maybe,
depending just depending on past relationships with different studios or properties that they already own.
yeah.
Just
And
depends.
I have become more of a fan of the original houses, but I would be totally okay with 6 IPs, 4 originals for an anniversary year. Like, they have to bring out all the stops.
Hmm.
So to me, I think that would work.
Yeah,
Now,
that's
the one
that's the
thing
plan.
though is that we got to unpack this because this is really going to take us into something that those true HHN fans have been asking for. We've been asking for this for a long time. And I think that the hints are coming, the early hints, the Easter eggs. The Oddfellow symbol
Hmm.
was spotted at the end of El Artista the other night on closing night of HHN34.
Yep.
This was not there at all for the rest of the season, but it was there at the end. This has sparked a ton of Oddfellow versus Jack speculation for HHN35. I think it's a shoe in almost. Not because of that symbol, but the talks have just been too heavy for a long time about this happening for HHN35.
Yes, they have. Ever since actually 2 years ago, since our fellow came to HHN. Honestly, after that year, people were like, it's Jack, it's gonna be Jack Oddfellow for this year.
Right.
For obviously that didn't happen, but now there's already, like you said, there were already rumors, but now that Oddfellow symbol has appeared at the end of El Artista, that just kicked the rumors in overdrive. so
It sure did.
now, so now, and also there was a wooden there was a wooden totem of Jack by that symbol as well. So
I didn't even notice that.
that's something that I actually found out not too long after I found out about the Oddfellow symbol at the end of El Artista. There was like a wooden totem of Jack. It was very subtle. It was like, and it was far in like the background, so it's like you won't really catch it unless you really pay attention. But it was there. It was, it was talked about on Twitter. So those have been kicked into overdrive.
I could
So
definitely see it. I
if
could
that
definitely see it.
if that doesn't tell you now that that's the direction that they're going in, I don't know what to tell you.
I feel like a Universal Icons house would be dope. And I think this is what Yurdy told us. So shout out to Yurdy G. He said that he felt that Jack versus Oddfellow would definitely either be its own house or that it would take place within a Universal Icons house because the idea of Universal Monsters has since moved on to Epic Universe. I can definitely see it, but I feel that Jack and Oddfellow have deep enough of a beef to where it could
Like
be
that
its own thing.
that could be like the storyline. That could be like the event
Like that lore
storyline.
is deep. Like it's
Yeah.
yeah,
And that could be like Jack versus Oddfellow, that could be like that can be like the icon headline. And that could like break down into the entire event. It can.
I can definitely see it, bro. I'm excited. We'll have to see what comes about, comes
Yeah.
from it. But
Mhm.
Jack versus Oddfellow is high on my list, and I do like my gut is telling me that we do get this
I'm telling you
in
right
the
now,
fall holiday.
it's gonna be the very first announcement that we got for 35. Jack versus Oddfellow. That's all you gotta know.
And because Epic is already open, there shouldn't be a late rollout this year. Hopefully, the
Hopefully.
rollout I mean,
We should be getting it. I was hoping that we could get like a little, because they did this a few years ago where they had announced, you know, a house to look forward to next year. Because they announced like I think it was
Chucky.
because I think it was because of the new season of that Chucky show um on TV. They announced that he was getting his own house. I don't know
See it
what they're doing, but but if there's something to 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 keep our appetites, you know, satisfied till next year, if they announce a Jack versus Oddfellow for next year, my ticket. I mean, my ticket's already bought, but
right.
trust
I'm
me,
going. I'm going regardless. But
but trust me, when I tell you, soon as them, I'm gonna be on Ticket Watch when they drop.
telling y'all now, if
It's
y'all
gonna
don't
be
have
on and
ticket money
popping.
ready when them tickets drop,
Good luck,
it's bad business.
because
It's bad business because
because within the first 5 minutes or so, all of that, all the express passes, all the frequent fare will be gone.
and you see how
So,
34 did. You
them
see
was
how 34 did.
yeah, and
So
R
here's the
and
next thing.
and RIP. So
And
get on
yeah,
that.
RIP all of it. So we got an early spec map from Andrew of Peace on Twitter. And Craig, you saw this yesterday.
Yeah,
Let me pull it up here. Let's talk about this for a second. And we can really go into it. And Craig, I'm gonna pull it up on my phone because I can't necessarily see what's behind us because of the layout. Let me see if I can change this real fast.
yeah.
I'm all over the place, but I don't care, whatever. We could just go like that.
Oh yeah, I
So
got it.
pulling it.
I got it pulled up on my phone, so I can
All
definitely
right,
see
cool.
too.
Pulling this up too. All right, y'all. Let's talk about this. The very first haunted house that is speculated on here, and we will talk about this a little more in a second. But this is Welcome to Derry. Now, for those of you who may not know, Welcome to Derry just dropped. What was it? Last week or something like that.
On Halloween episode 2.
Yeah, on Halloween. So, Craig, what do you think about that? That'd be interesting. I'll be down. Stephen King,
I will say that It Welcome to Derry TV show on HBO Max is very good. So if you haven't seen it, watch it.
yeah.
Um, The first two episodes, the pilot episode alone, which dropped on that Sunday, blows my mind. All I'm gonna say is don't get attached. But um, and it welcome to Dairy House. Now, don't let the title fool you. It's not gonna be based on the show. Now, I will say some of it will be based on the show, but in terms of the name, it does give off the impression that it's gonna be based on the show, but that's not gonna be entirely true. I think that this house will solely focus on the movies and like a best
Yeah,
of when it comes to Pennywise and the Losers Club. So, you know, and it has been, ever since the first It movie came out, there have been rumors of there have been rumors and fans wanting an It house so badly, present
right.
company included. So, this will be great. This will finally um, satisfy the Pennywise and It fans. Bring them in as well as um, as well as make us HHN fans happy that an It house is finally coming to HHN.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. People have been
A
wanting
long
that.
time coming.
I can see it. So I'm gonna go through this list real fast and talk about the 10 that are on
Okay.
here. We'll just talk about the houses. So we had It Welcome to Derry as a house. Coming in at number 2, we have Terrifier, Arts Class of Horror, which this would mean that Terrifier will return for another year. And we have what we just talked about, Jack versus Oddfellow in a soundstage, as it should be. That is not a Spring
Mhm.
10 house. Then at number 4, we have The Shining. Number 5, we have Stranger Things. Number 6 is Chances Midway of the Bizarre. Then at number 7, what I'm very excited about,
Yep. Yep.
Dead Man's Pier, Autumn's Wake.
Oh, you ain't
I
gotta
ain't
say
got
nothing else. For real. That's it.
dropping the
That's
mic.
it.
And then Freddy Universe. This is another one. We've been, people want Freddy, and I also want Freddy to be there
Me
too.
as well.
Absolutely. Like I'm all in if it happens. Then at number 9, we have Lost Riches. 10, Scarecrow the Harvest. So that would mean that Scarecrow would debut in Orlando.
Just like Monstros did for the very
I'm
first
cool with
time.
that. Yep. And then at number 11, we have Mel's Drive-In First Bite. So as an early spec list, I am not mad at what they have speculated here.
I'm not either.
I'm pretty cool with it. Like
It
I
looks
don't
Yeah, it looks pretty solid to me.
yeah, I definitely don't see an issue with it.
I will say, although I will say I would switch out something.
What would you
I
switch up?
I don't think Terrifier I don't think HHN 35 needs Terrifier. I think I think they would bring it back maybe another year.
I'm following you on this.
But I
I'm following
think
you on this.
but I think what they should switch out Terrifier for is Scream. They should switch
Talk
Terrifier.
your shit, Craig.
They should switch Terrifier for Scream. And let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. I hear
Mm,
all the Terrifier fans, hear to all the Terrifier fans out there. Let me tell you why. We were promised the Scream House in 2015. We did not get that. And for you know, and the reasons why was pretty petty. You know, Paramount wanted Universal to push their MTV show that just came out. Universal didn't want that. They wanted to base off the first movie. And so
mhm.
then that agreement, you know, uh, got them to pull out of the deal. And so by that time, again, the house and the locations of the first movie were already built. The house was essentially ready to go, and so they had to basically scrap that and do it based off the purge, which sucked. But if there was a year for Universal to go all in on a franchise, Scream is the one because
Yep.
it's not like it was it's almost like it's not like it was never going to happen. It was going to happen. It had gotten announced. The house has gotten built. So that's almost like a that's almost like an unfulfilled promise. And so what better way to satisfy us and to bring us closure than to bring a Scream House for the anniversary year?
I don't even I can tell you I completely agree. And I'm gonna go even further. The way that you all acted about Terrifier this year was it was warranted. I know Terrifier is popular,
Yeah.
but the amount of just publicity that it got, how incredibly popular that it was, I thought that it was a great house. I enjoyed what it brought to the event, but
Hmm.
I definitely don't want to see art at the event for a while. I
Now
don't.
I will say we don't need a Terrifier house, but if Art comes back for a roam around character again, that
That I'm
that's
cool with.
that would be all that people would honestly need
Yeah,
as long as
that
Art's
I'm
there.
definitely cool with.
Or he'll be free roaming, or he'll get a scare zone. You never know. You know that's fine as long as Art is there. That will never like the social media interactions and the numbers that it brought wouldn't even go away. I just don't think that
I mean, it
I
blew
just don't
up for sure.
I just don't think that at this time for a 35, I don't as as much as much as you know as tempting as it is to bring it back because of the numbers that it brought in and the numbers that it pulled. I just don't think based off the amount of opportunities that's on the table for 35, I don't think Terrifier is one of those just for next year. I just don't think that's the time.
Yeah, I think
There's
with
way
that,
too many ideas and things on the table for 35 that doesn't warrant Terrifier. But
right. Like, I think we'll definitely see art again, but 35 just may not be the right time to run that back
exactly.
again. And I think that's fair. Now this is exciting. The Shining was on that list.
Hmm.
Now The Shining was at Hollywood, I want to say. I want to
Yep.
say that was 2017, like somewhere
Yep.
back in there.
2017.
But it would be cool to see The Shining come back. I really don't even have a whole lot to really give that. I think Stephen King just writes great properties that we really could see at Horror Nights. I think that it would be
And
well executed.
The Shining House in Hollywood that year was really good.
Yeah.
I think that they pulled that movie off. Excuse me. They pulled that movie off very, expertly, and um, they pulled it off very, in a very um, I'm trying to think of the word, in like a very great manner.
They
And
paid homage to it in a good way.
right, they pay homage
Yeah.
to get pay homage to Stephen King. His work. I'm pretty sure they consulted with him on it,
Yep.
and it was an overall great house. But like seeing how The Shining could possibly make a return, and just like Poltergeist made his return this past year to Hollywood, I think that with The Shining coming back, it can expose that house to people that have been in it as an oldie but goodie, but expose the newer fan into the type of house that it can bring.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like definitely for early speculation, The Shining would definitely be a good property to visit. Like we said, we want something for the old school fans, something for the new, and something for the people that really want those classic, movies and slasher
Yeah.
films that they want to feel immersed in. And so, staying on that same topic, it brings us down to Wes Craven,
Hmm.
another great, bro. We got A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original movie, or even a Freddy universe, which the Nightmare on Elm Street um franchise definitely has enough to build some cool houses around this.
It does.
So this is another one. Like Freddy's been at the event, but it's been quite a while since he was at the
A
event.
long while, actually.
Yeah. So that would be cool to see Nightmare on Elm Street come back. But I would want the original personally, just like I would also want the original Scream and not one of the other installments, because I want to see Universal recreate that house, the iconic house that we know. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
In both of these movies, like we saw it with Halloween, we've seen the original house be recreated, and that just puts you in that.
It
You felt like you
does.
were in it even more. You know
I
what I'm saying?
loved I loved that
It
Halloween
was
house. I
so
really
good.
did.
It was so
It
good.
was so good, man.
And that's why I
But
want the original. Sometimes simple is a little bit better. Like I
yep.
know that like think about Scream 6, like it takes place in New York and everything, and they're like in the city and everything like that. But I don't want that. I want to go through the original Scream house.
And
I'd be the same way for Nightmare.
and what they say about nostalgia is like nostalgia it's like that's the popular thing now.
Yeah,
Nostalgia makes so much money. That's why these movie studios are doing like, that's why these studios are doing like the direct sequels to the original movies, because it's almost like that's what brings people in, the nostalgia
right.
and everything that people love. And excuse me, ultimately, what it comes down to, um when it comes to nostalgia, I'll use this as an example. The Star Wars movies, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland and Disney's Hollywood Studios. You know, that that land is based off the newer the newer Star Wars movies that Disney owns, which aren't haven't been the most well received. Um, and so that's why the people are like, hey, you know, I feel like in a few years they'll switch over to the original trilogy or the prequel trilogy, because again, that's nostalgia. Those movies are timeless. So
Right.
it's almost like the same goes with HHN. You can base it off the original Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Those fans will come out. Robert Englund just got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. That will
Sure
definitely bring
did.
him out.
Yep.
So, you know, him,
It,
he
it's
has fans, and
Yeah,
that
and
movie
it's
has
kind
its
of
own
one of those
fan.
properties where like you just said, like he just got his star and everything like that. To me, it just kind of seems like it's kind of aligning itself to an area where I feel like we could see this.
Now, in terms of a Freddy Universe house, I wouldn't be opposed to that, but you know, I I actually want them to show kills,
Yeah.
you know, signature moments with
Hmm.
that. Because
Yeah.
in Jason Universe, in the Orlando version at least, they didn't really show. The house got pretty repetitive in terms of scares and you know things of that nature, but it didn't really show a lot of kills, not at
We were
all.
seeing we were seeing more of just the different variations of Jason
Right.
himself.
It's almost like if we were in. It's almost like it was almost like a POV house. Like we were the victim and we were running from Jason. Not necessarily like how it was in Hollywood when they showed the greatest hits and the kills and stuff and the different Jasons as well. So Um, I really think that they can pull this. They can pull a Nightmare on Elm Street off very well. We're just waiting to see what type of iteration that they would do.
Yeah. Nope.
So
We'll have to see what happens, but
yeah.
the possibility there, I feel, with Elm Street, I do think that there's definitely a chance. I
Hmm.
think there's a chance. There's been a chance the last few years, but I feel pretty confident, with it this
Again,
year.
if there was a year
If
next
there's gonna
year,
be a year for y'all to do it,
it's time. It's time to pull it out the bag.
and we will be there. We're
We
gonna
will
be
be
there.
there.
So it don't
Yes, we
just
will.
do it. Now, this is some early speculation, but what about Scarecrow debuting at HHN Orlando? I definitely feel like this could happen. It's a very popular property. It's obviously a Horror Unleashed in Vegas. So if
Hmm.
you need or if you want to go see Horror Unleashed without going to HHN, you can also go do it there. But what about for those people from Orlando who don't want to fly out to Vegas to see Scarecrow? Like, I think it could happen.
I think it can happen as well. Like, um, like we have talked about with, uh, with Monstros in the past, and how that show and how that Orlando exclusive uh property came.
Yeah.
I think that Scarecrow debuting in Orlando is highly likely in terms of debuting in Orlando because of Monstros. And you know it's almost like Orlando didn't Orlando has exclusives, Hollywood has exclusives, and it's almost like every few or so years they swap exclusives. And so this would be a very great original for Orlando, if not like a second Monstros house. But Scarecrow and how intense it is, I think that this will be an exceptional debut for Orlando.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. I agree. I can see it. I really don't have, you know, much else to really give to the topic of Scarecrow. Obviously, it's early, but I will say if this house is at Horror Unleashed, then that should tell you that there's enough of a demand for that property that people want to see it a whole lot more.
Hmm.
So it's definitely popular in that aspect. Now, the other
Hmm.
one was, will Monstros continue? We've had Monstros 1 in Orlando,
Yeah.
but now we definitely got to talk about Monstros showing its face again in Orlando because the story has progressed in Hollywood, but will it finish in Orlando? Before we close out, that's mainly what we need to know. What do y'all think? Is it going to close out in Orlando? Is it going to come back? Or is it just going to continue to grow in Hollywood and that just be a Hollywood exclusive?
Right. I mean, me personally, um, I think Monsters will continue in Orlando because again they had one, and so I
Right.
think that opened the door for it to continue in Orlando because I'm sure they're not going to treat it as a one off. This will continue. It's just a matter of when.
Yep. It's just a
That's it.
matter of when. That's it. Well, before we close out, I want to talk about a couple other things that are going on right now. For one, my other podcast, Toxic Icon, you all know it's all everything haunted house life. It's not really HHN gear, but everything behind the scenes. We take the cameras on the road with us while we act at our home hunt and or other haunted houses. We've got a lot of stuff lined up for that. We just put out a new episode of the Radioactive Road Show. For any of you all that watch that, you all can go see a behind the scenes night at, the busiest night of the season at our home haunt, the darkness. So the link will be in the description there. Make sure you check it out. And also, what I'm very excited about, and we've been working very hard on this. GhoulieCon St. Louis is happening March 21st, 2026, right here in St. Louis.
Oh yeah.
We have Rochelle Davis from The Crow. She has announced she will be a guest. She'll be there signing autographs, taking pictures, meeting fans, as well as James Stokes. He was in Stranger Things 3, and he was also in Voorhees, The Night of the Beast, and he played Jason in that movie. So we got a couple celebrities announced. The HHN panel will be happening. As of right
Mm-hmm.
now, I will tell you the only people confirmed for that panel that I can tell y'all about, read between the lines, that I can tell y'all about, myself, Craig as Dead Man's Mike, Yurdy from Toxic Icon, and we got a couple people that we're in talks with right now. One that's almost finalized. We're really excited about that. So make sure you get your tickets. If you want a weekend to go do something, man, travel up here to the Lou. Come to GhoulieCon, get to know us. Come sit in on the HHN panel. We're going to be
Yes.
speculating. This list may not even hold any weight by the time March comes around. You never
Right.
know. You just never know.
Who knows? A lot can happen between now and then.
Right. And so the link for the website to GhoulieCon and tickets will also be in the description below. Craig, you got anything?
Um, in terms of GhoulieCon, we ain't done. The announcements ain't finished.
It's
Those
not
tickets
over.
those tickets are live. So get
Yep.
them, get them, get them. Um, there's a we're gonna be uh we're getting our con list in terms of the different horror cons across in the different cons across the country for
Yep.
next year. We're getting that list together slowly but surely. Be on the
Yep.
lookout because we will be there. Whatever
Yeah.
cons we go to, we will be there. So, be on the lookout for that. And hey, it's only up from here. I'm
It's
I'm
only up
I'm
from here,
I'm
bro.
ready to continue climbing and making strides, man. We don't. It's gonna get bigger, man. But it's only
Yep.
this only the beginning, and
Yep.
we slowly but steadily reaching, you know, getting that reach out. So
Yeah. And
hey,
there'll
just
definitely be some more graphics and things coming from us so you
yeah,
all can know what we're up to. We want to speculate with you guys. Please reach out to us. Send us a message. Let us know something you might want us to talk about on the show. We're gonna keep this thing rolling, but we definitely want to hear from you guys too,
yeah,
because it's a collective effort. It's a bunch of different really cool ideas coming together and just being able to talk about different
yep.
things. And so well, with that being said, man, my name is Nick,
And Craig,
and this has been the first episode of season 2 of Dead Man's Mike podcast. Spec season for HHN35 is on.
guess it
Make
is.
sure you follow, download, and shout out to everybody that streamed our last episode that we put out about a month ago on Spotify. That episode has gone crazy. You all really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Let's keep this thing rolling, man. We want to keep talking about HHN and just bridging the gap, bringing the community together. That's what it's all about. So, like I said, follow, get those GhoulieCon tickets, check out Toxic Icon, follow Craig and I on our personals. It'll be in the link, and we will see you all in the fog soon.
peace.